The Esports World Cup 2024 tournament in Saudi Arabia is interesting in many ways. From the prize fund of $1 million, the test, updated lineups of top teams, to unexpected match results, unfamiliar rules, and various scandals. Personally, I have the feeling that the Saudi sheikhs decided that if they can't build a flying ship in the form of an unrealistically expensive and so far so unproductive Falcons team, they can just buy it, turning their country into a mecca of world esports. As far as I'm concerned, the plan works, because as long as oil remains black gold and cars continue to use gasoline, there's plenty of money to go around. Hi everyone, I'm Dale, and today we're going to talk about the first big event of the new KS2 season, the Esports World Cup 2024 tournament in Saudi Arabia. And before the heat starts, because the climate in those parts does not allow anyone to freeze, subscribe to the channel, put your authoritative like, which will motivate me to create more interesting content, and go! See the promo code on the screen? Don't wait for a lucky chance. Luck is already on your side. Enter the promo code on our website and collect top loot from GGDROP. Have fun hunting, bro! Richard Lewis has published a copy of the Esports World Cup EWC Administration Manual, which provides guidance on the laws of Saudi Arabia. The document includes information on dress requirements, rules of conduct, and prohibitions on criticizing the government, the royal family, and the country's flag. The EWC Administration Manual contains the following key points. Employees are encouraged to dress modestly, avoiding bright colors such as red, yellow, and green. Women who wear short clothing may face negative views and disapproval from locals. Men are advised to avoid wearing tight jeans and too informal clothing. Any criticism of Saudi Arabia, the royal family, or the flag is illegal, and foreigners are also subject to this law. It is forbidden to photograph government and military installations. Public display of romantic relationships, including LGBTQ+ relationships, is prohibited. This document is unique to events organized by ESL Face IT Group and reflects the strict requirements for participants and staff in Saudi Arabia. Why is ESL doing this? Well, of course, because they are paid for it, and by the looks of it, a lot. But should we condemn an esport organization for the desire to make money? To some extent, money is the lifeblood of modern esports. In the playoffs, the G2 team, which has just undergone a major change, showed that all the couch analysts who criticize their solves do not know anything about anything. After all, G2 confidently beat and sent home the top 1 team according to HLTV, Team Spirit, and the Virtus Pro team in the quarterfinals gave a return ticket to Paris to Vitality themselves, led by the great Zyva. In turn, the NAVI remembered the majors and rolled 2-0 over the FaZe clan team. It looks like the FaZe will have to wait a little longer to avenge their offenders for the final of the majors. Well, the Mousa expectedly outplayed the Furia team. G2 and Virtus.pro met in the first semifinal. This event caught the attention of Simple, who seems to be seriously learning a new profession. What is community casting and what is it like? Community castings are broadcasts of events that are conducted not by the organizers, but by independent streamers. The conditions of community casting can be very different. For example, some organizers pay influencers to follow and comment on the event live. We first saw Simple as a community cast member at a major. There he came to Evelon's stream, watched the NAVI versus Spirit match, and burned on his team's players. This time it was Shadow Keck and Evelone, who before the match asked if Alexander should bet on Virtus.pro. Simple confidently answered yes and said that Elec will beat them in a solo, in short, will win. Electronic actually started off well, but he and the rest of the VP players were quickly quieted down by Nico. Simple loves predicting players' actions, both while skating on Faceit and watching matches. On the first card, he tried to read how Jamie would win the clutch.
Ага, с ножом даже. Хорошо.
О!
Какой лак.
As you can see, it turns out to be pretty funny. So Sasha has good prospects in his new field, as Simple will be watched, and his innate toxicity could be his specialty. And here's how Alexander reacted to the main moment of the match. The last round of the first half on Dust 2.
По-любому. Он двоих видит и третьего слышит.
It's fun to watch Kostelev get fired up at Jamie.
Ты репикаешь, сука.
Where are you repping, bitch? Apparently, if Alexander continues his community casting activities, soon we'll have a ton of hilarious memes and everyone will be happy. In between cards, Simple was asked who the top 1 of the world is at the moment. He chose Donk, probably Ilyuka, Monesi. Donk though, I'd probably give Donk a top 1 right now. He's also a riffler, but the next results will still decide everything. Kostelev replied, if all the analytics from the greatest will be similar to his prediction for the semi-final, then do not see Donk top 1 as their ears, because G2 literally rolled over the VP, 13-4 on Dust 2 and 13-7 on Ancient. Anyway, but the Navy versus Mao's match, the second semi-final of the tournament, was really worth watching. On the first map of Dust 2, Blade's team set a personal record. In the second semi-final, Navi lost to Moose at Dust 2, their pick, in 113. For the team, this is the worst score in CS2. Previously, Navy lost twice with 213 at the Copenhagen Major against Cloud9 and then FaZe in the final at the Mirage. But we all know how the Major ended. Apparently, this is not a bug, but a feature, a trademark of the B1AD3 team. Because after such a tough flight on Dust, Navy was able to pull themselves together and respond with dignity on Nuke, 13-8, and then close all questions on Mirage, breaking into the grand final. Second in a row for themselves, by the way. Igor Wonderful Jdanov became the best player of the match. Navi Sniper finished the match with a 54-30 KD statistic. Looks like he sends his regards to Simple, and now the tension is at its peak with the grand final ahead, Navi versus G2. The beginning on the map. Enchantment was critical for NAVI. They were flying 6.0, but somehow gathered themselves and brought the score to 10-9 in their favor. However, Kovacs were not going to give up. The game went to the dopes, and their G2 were able to take the first map of the grand final with a score of 16-14. The next map was Nuke, and here the situation was mirrored. Born to Win led 6.2. However, the team of Nico and Manisi were not going to give up and threw all their efforts to make a comeback. They came back to 6.6, but then something went wrong, and Navy showed a great game, taking 7 rounds in a row and finishing the map 13.6. The last map was Inferno, where Navi had no official matches for 4 months, and the last match was played in the final of PGL Major Copenhagen 2024 against FaZe. But despite such a long break in official matches, Navi managed to make a streak of 7 1 rounds and finish the half 9-3 in their favor. In the end, Navi won 13-6 and became the world champions. This marked the 6th meeting for Navi and G2 in the last 6 months, and Navi managed to win all 6 times. The best player of the tournament was Valery B1T Vakovsky with rating 7.0. And here's another interesting fact. Navi for 2024 have already earned $1,000. It is left to sell Simple to someone and we can live on interest. In general, we must admit that despite the heat of plus 46 degrees, the tournament in Air Riyadh turned out to be excellent. It is possible, of course, that a couple of degrees to the heat added burning farts. But, in general, a point in the Sheikh's piggy bank. And with you is Dale. For today I say goodbye. I hope that you liked the video, and you did not forget to mark it with your unforgettable, for me, like, as well as subscribe to the channel to keep up to date with all the brightest and interesting events from the world of esport. I'll say goodbye for today, to all the crucial race.